If you cannot step onto the field and are available for selection by the head coach, your ability means absolutely nothing. What's up guys, Chris Tomazis here, Total 90 Fitness. Today I want to talk to you about one of the biggest mistakes I see footballers making time and time again. And that is simply dedicating an entire leg day to their week-to-week program. Now the reason why I think this is one of the biggest no-nos that you can be doing as a player is because a lot of players incorporate this and fail to understand that the protocols of what you need to be doing as an athlete are far different to what those bodybuilders implement within the gym. An entire leg day from squats, deads, hack squats, hamstring curls, plyos, box jumps, the whole works. Implementing that type of training is purely going to break down your muscles to a point in which you are so heavily fatigued that your performance on the field is going to be completely hindered. Increasing your risk of injury because your muscles are completely broken down, and you're not even going to be able to partake in a training session, let alone a 90-minute football game. You guys need to understand that the way an athlete trains is far different to the way a bodybuilder trains. A bodybuilder's sole focus in training is to literally break down the muscle so it can spend the next 48 to 72 hours purely recovering. Bodybuilders do not need to run on a field. Bodybuilders do not need to be jumping. Bodybuilders do not need to be sprinting. So for you to implement the same style of training as they are is completely the wrong thing that you should be doing. Now that's not to say you shouldn't be squatting, you shouldn't be doing your deads, or any of those type of movements. But what players and you guys need to understand is, what is your priority? Is it playing the game or is it lifting the weights? Now, depending on where you're at within the season, this is going to change. Now, in the off season, you're not really playing the game. You're spending that quality time to build up your strength, build up your muscle, build up your power, because you do not need to be backing all that performance up the next day on the field, trying to impress a coach, trying to impress a scout to land a contract that you're after. So in the off season, yes, it's important to make sure that we're really creating that stimulus in the gym to build our strength and power to the highest ability that we can. However, once we start implementing the ball at our feet in pre-season and especially in season, the modalities of our training must change. Now, we need to reduce volume heavily. We need to structure our training program from muscle building, strength building, to now muscle maintenance, strength maintenance, injury mitigation. And at that point there is where, when we transition from our off-season to our in-season and pre-season training, as does our training within the gym. So still continue your squats, still continue your deadlifts. All of those still need to remain as a bread and butter within your system. However, your rep ranges and your volume must be reduced. Otherwise, your performance is going to hinder, your susceptibility for injury is going to rapidly increase, and how you perform on the field is not going to be as you ultimately desire. How I operate with my athletes is, in the off season, we're typically doing 4 days of training in the gym, and that typically constitutes of 2 upper, 2 lowers. And then when we move into the in-season, we are now doing 2 full body days. So that way we can really focus on muscle retention, strength retention, and injury mitigation. Because the best ability is availability. And if you guys aren't available to play, well, it doesn't matter how good you were last season, doesn't matter how many step overs you're doing, doesn't matter how many bars and plates you can put on the squat rack. If you cannot step onto the field and are available for selection by the head coach, your ability means absolutely nothing if you are not available to play the sport.